There we go. We're recording. Got about 3 minutes left still.
Oh, excellent.
Lots of people getting started. I see a white screen. Let me see if I can get you a new share. I'm going to share that. Okay. Welcome, Carl, Four Kingdoms, Billy, David, Dylan, Jeffrey, of course, Paul. Many more to come. I'll just share for a second. I got about a minute. We're going to get started.
No Thor yet. I said he'd be late.
Oh boy, once again.
Oh dear.
All right, here we go. Oh, I got to save this. Sorry. 100%. There we go. Yay. Sorry about that, everybody. How you doing, everybody? This is Max Farrow. This is Dex Effects Markets. Today is the 24th of September, 2020. And I want to welcome everybody that's here. Now, everybody that is here is familiar with who we are. It's a company that has been through, I'll say, a lot. And when I mean, hang on one second. When I mean a lot, I mean a tremendous amount. Most of you know where we started at and how we work. Thanks, Dylan, for putting that into that place. Appreciate it. Most of you know who we are, okay? Most of you know what our system has gone through over the last several months, especially with COVID and everything else. I'm going to mute everybody that's coming over. Anybody who's coming in, please mute if you can, and we'll save questions periodically throughout this presentation, as well as for the end, of course. Let me explain just a little bit about Dex Atomic and the mentality. But before I do, I want to tell you, again, with most of you knowing who we are and where we came from, most companies create a product, and if it doesn't work, they rebrand themselves into be something else. That's not what we have done. Even though that it may appear to be that way from the outside, it's not what we have done. Dex Signals, when we started about 7 years ago, Dex Signals was the process of us creating a signal for people to be able to follow to trade on Nadex. And the process of that Dex Signal website served its purpose, but didn't really sit into a good marketing process with the majority of people, because there was a lot of traders that were coming to us saying, hey, look, I just want to know how to trade. Can you teach me just how to trade? No, I don't just want to follow a signal, but I want to know how to read charts. Or I want to learn how to use an indicator. Or do you have this? I see you use this indicator. How do I use this indicator from MetaTrader 4? So we created dexindicators.net because we knew that the name of signals really didn't cut it so well. In the very beginning, we were very light on experience in marketing. By the time we created Dex Indicators, there was just so many people that were coming to us saying, hey, listen, I appreciate the signals. We're only getting signal customers. People wanted to learn more about trading and learning how to trade and becoming more proficient with the idea of trading on Nadex. So we began to teach them in a process we refer to as the trader's mind. So we redeveloped the site using the same signals and the same solutions, the same processes through dextrader.com. And this went well for some time. We were very happy with the turnout, and it had a good system of communication. We were doing great, and nothing bad was happening until, of course, I had a heart attack, go figure. But at that time, there was a reimagining of what was the Dex brand really being about. So we had to really sit down and really consider our market of trading was about indicators, was about the tools, it was about the training, it was about the experience. So we decided to create a system referred to as dexfxmarkets.com. Most of you, that's where you have come from. Some of you have been with us for a long time. Some of you have known me the entire 7 to 8 years that we've been in business with this process. Some of you know me even longer. I've been working from home for 10 years. Haven't worked for anybody else in 10 years. I can't be sitting in front of you without really being a success story with you having that knowledge now. I am a success story. I am a success. And my idea of success is a lot different than most. Now, am I a successful trader? That depends on your point of success. I make money every month with the Nadex process, with the systems that I'm going to be showing you today, and some extra stuff. DexFX Markets was as we said a while ago, was our final aha. There's no other sites going to be made that talk about trading. There's no other crazy ideas that we're going to try to come up with or anything else. This has always been it. But through all of these, we've always kept some things true. And one of those is that the tools have remained the same. We've always made it about being simple, taking the complicated and making it simple. The trading mentalities and strategies have always been the same. CVG, consistency plus volume equals goal. I'm famous for that. Keep it sweet and simple. Apply CVG, apply patience and discipline to get to consistency. Once got consistency, you add volume to get to your goal. That has been our mantra, besides our mission statement, which is to help as many people find their idea of success. As we said, this is the last site. We've combined all of our products into one system. Now, when we did that, we went to a solution in about almost 2 years ago, in 2018, when we started the ZDON process. We call it the back to front, right? Nadex and backwards. We created this bot to attach to Nadex, the network, because we knew that there was a higher potential to make money on Nadex if you were to do it right. And we thought that creating a bot would be the best solution. And it was. We all thought it was. There was a lot of people, everybody thought it was. It was great, great system. It still is a great system. Now, of course, Nadex had other ideas. They decided that they want to shift their attention on a browser-based trading system instead of the other program that they had. So they're sort of doing the hybrid thing in between. So we're still working on a lot of that now. But we had, at the time, attached our signals, our daily signals. Most of you remember those. Most of you should know those. If you don't, you'll certainly find out what they were. They're no longer in existence. But during this time period, making the daily signals, making the new products, the products that attach to our programs, attach to our systems, it's always been a boiling down. We use the daily codes in the systems for signals in everything that we do. That is our, what do we call that, Paul? Our flux capacitor, if you will. That is the one thing that it's in everything that we do. And then as another acronym goes, it's a HILT method. It's time over a period of price. So it's high, low, time. And you're going to see that in this presentation, as well as the demonstration of the final version, not I mean, sort of final, but the final pathway of the Dex Atomic series. As we built the daily signals in the system a long time ago, we were using a profit of $20 to $25 per trade, risking $75 per trade, 80 to 75 to $80 per trade in a heavy, deep ITM in the money trading strategy. And when we would lose, you would lose 4 trades basically. In about the middle of last year, I started to see some, because we have the data to prove it all, we started to see a lot of success. And I'm not just talking data that I just plugged into a strategy tester in one of these high power systems. I'm talking about human data as well. I'm talking about the tireless work of people like Thor and Paul and Vivian, and even from the days with Mike Ficca and all these other people that had applied data to us by those journal charts that you give us. You think they just sit there? They don't. I compile them. I look at your trading process on how you trade it. Where were the trades really being won at? And when you won, what did it look like? When you lost, what did it look like? And the cool thing is that we came up with a process called the 45-55. And this is as close to at the money as you can possibly get on Nadex. And if you're not sure what this is, you'll find out. But for those of you who've been trading for Nadex, you're salivating right now. There's only one trade better than this, and that's the OTM, the out of the monies, which are usually about $20 risk to make about $80 profit. So if you're sitting here, what is the success rate any system really needs to have? That's right. To break even, you need to be about 57% success because you got a $2 buy-in. So the concept comes down to, if you could get a system that had a 63 to 70% success rate, would you be profitable? So we began to look at our own daily signals. Now remember, we didn't reinvent the wheel here. We didn't reinvent the signal. We didn't change it to be something completely different, like, I don't know, using some sort of weird Bollinger Band network or crazy thing over a MetaTrader 4 or what have you. We've been using the same tools for years now, the same strategies, the same process. We just been fine-tuning it over the years. So over the last 2 years, we've learned that simple is best. We always known take the complicated and make it simple. 2018, we created the Dex Atomic. And the Dex Atomic had a mentality that if you took a program, our daily signal mentality, or daily signal strategy, our signal strategy, and applied it to putting arrows on a page, you got something like this. And we immediately knew that this entire trading strategy of these arrows, applying our very proprietary way that our signals fired, if we fired these arrows out, each one would give opportunity to get into a trade or place a working order on. So we had direction. Now we needed to make the rules. And the Dex Atomic had a couple of different ways that you could have traded it. You could have done only the first ones that go over the moving average or under the moving average. You could have traded all the ones that were under or all the ones that were over, or you could have traded all of them. And soon we found that every single signal that came out, what was the priority? Would this one win, even though that it was underneath the moving average? Could this one win? Yes. But did it have more of an opportunity to win than, say, this one? The answer was no. It seemed like anytime that the arrow appeared, or the price appeared with an arrow coming on underneath the moving average, that you had better success filling and better success winning than the ones that went against the grain. We also determined, since we fired off the Dex Atomic, that the information that we need only really needs to be about 4 hours. Excuse me. So we don't need a lot of information of movement of market. You don't need to scroll all the way back and say, well, I think this one will work because we're in a major downtrend from 16 days ago. You don't need that. So too much information. So it took some time, but we decided in the very beginning, when we first developed the Dex Atomic, if you remember, we created a local library, if you will, of a trading chart that sat on our website. But this took a lot of resources because we had to apply our own data. And I'll be honest with you, it was very egotistical of me to think that I could create a data system and a chart system, and and it still can be done, but there's such a cost to that. One, of financing, two, of time. Because when you're the only one that has built it, and you have staff or you have partners who work customer service and you do all the things, but nobody else can maintain it, you're usually on the hook. And that's where I'm at, was on the hook. So we created what we refer to as a big, expensive house of glass with constant means of possible failures, points of entry for hackers. So I began last year to learn how to code, and not expansive code. I mean, I'm a decent coder to begin with, but I had to learn some PineScript. I had to learn some things to do with TradingView. I had to learn the rules with TradingView. I had to sit in endless meetings with them to discuss what I was planning to do, and they agreed. I was going to close the library, I was going to close the data, I was going to close the signals, and I was going to create an indicator that sat directly on tradingview.com. Why? Because tradingview.com is huge. They got all the money they need to keep security and keep all this stuff secure for you. And I could focus on one thing that I know is for sure, the strategy that works, the indicator that works. So right around the beginning of the whole COVID existence, we, back in April, in fact, we closed off and turned off all of these subscriptions to everybody, every single person. April 1st, we went from having 100 and something plus people in that network paying to zero. First time since I've started the business, I've had zero income coming in from the process, besides my own trading. And even then, I had to kind of take a step back with trading. And we done that because we wanted to make sure that everybody that was here could afford it and they could still stick it out. I didn't want to lose anybody. So we developed this process, but we began to shortly see that even though we didn't have any income, there was still, there was one set of servers that cost, the combination of all three of those servers and the security systems was $3,500 a month. This does say a lot about who we are when you can't really afford $3,500 a month when you have no income coming in. I could trade for it, but then I wouldn't be able to do customer service, take care of the company, do anything else. That kind of trading takes a lot of money, a lot of time. And I was already trading for my bread and butter every month. So as we begin to look at why did we close the signals down, why did we do all that, it wasn't because they didn't work. They work, but they didn't work in the fashion that the majority of traders would appreciate. There's plenty of people that are probably in this room right now that could say, yeah, when I was trading the daily signals, I could make them work. They made me money. It was slow and it was boring as hell, but boy, I could make them work. And there's some of you fast guys in there that are, and girls that are just like, well, I need something faster. I need 5 minutes, or I need 1 hour, or I need this, and I need to be able to trade. I need to do 5, 6 trades a day because I have to have this. You're the ADHD traders. I get it. If you're the kid that asked, are we there yet, Dylan, then you will know that your mentality of trading is not wrong. It suits you, and we can cater to that. But there's some learning to do. We developed the process within our network of Dex Atomic that since you could follow every arrow and you could do all that stuff, but did we need to do that? We developed what we refer to as box validation, or the HILT method: high, low, and time. This box validation system was very easy to incorporate into your manual trading process. You simply said, when the pair, or when the pair that you're on, this is the auto USD on the 5-minute chart for a 1-hour trade, you would simply go back to the previous, or the open of the bar, which is the previous bar, and you would look for the lowest point over the past 4 hours. So since it's 11 o'clock now, we would go back 4 hours to 7 o'clock. And we would simply try to find the high, the low, and the time. So those are the 3 variables: high, low, and time. We began to then dissect the box by referred to as the mean. We would take the mean out. And then, of course, that left the quarter mean in between. I don't even know if that's a term that's normally used in math, but it's one that I'm using now. So we would take this gain box mentality of over a period of time, how much did the market move? And we began to see a relationship with this process of validation. One, the relationship to support and resistance was pretty strong. This is our support and resistance indicator that's already on our Dex Atomic system. As you see, it sort of matches almost identical at some points, but that would still leave some other variables left open. So we began to see also that if the price on a validated pair, right? Because this, remember, this one's not validated because it's underneath the moving average, but this one is. So when we found that over this period of time, we drew out this box, we could depict really strong levels by looking at the mean, of course, and the quarter means. So if the price was down in this quadrant, we could use either 1 or 2 mentalities: a high risk mentality of a support and resistance area, or a HILT method or validation area of the quarter side, the one closest to it, or go back one and give yourself a little bit lower risk trade. Now, if this is high risk, what does that mean? It means that it's going to fill more. If you put a working order on, it's going to fill more, but you stand the risk of losing it more than you would the other trades. It still has a higher availability of trade value, which means that it trades at a higher level, 63, 65%, depending on the pair, and you'll still make money. You'll trade a lot more. So for all you guys, the ADHD, are we there yet? This is a pretty good level to be at. While the slow, methodical moving mentality of, I'm just looking for a pair to kind of move, and if it goes with me and it comes up and bounces back, that it shouldn't interject past that level. This one has about an 80% to 90% success rate, depending on the pair, but has a lower rate of fill. So fills more, wins less. Fills less, wins more. Between these two mentalities, it was like, it's easy. Now, the only things that we're missing, one is the learning curve. You got to learn which one's a validated signal. Well, that's kind of easy. Price below moving average, don't take. Price on a buy. Price above moving average on a buy, take. Start to assess. Start to look at the level. But then people were having a problem looking at the levels, drawing the boxes out, figuring out what levels to take. We were getting people saying, well, Max, I only have about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day to trade. Is there any way that I can get signals at work? Can I get emails? We've been asked that for years. And I kept on saying, well, I want everybody to learn manual first and then blah, 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 blah. You know the story. So simply, it became, how can I make this even simpler? So we didn't make something else. We're not calling it, you know, shark tooth or something else. This is not a completely different way to trade what I'm about to show you. It's the same process. Now, if you're a manual trader, what I'm about to show you, don't even bother going to. If you just love drawing the box out and being in charge, stick with the Dex Atomic. The Dex Atomic, just a regular one, is a very strong system. It works really well with your mentality. If you like being in control of looking at the box, putting the box on, you're going to sit down, you got about 3 hours worth of sit down, and you got some time you want to put in. If this is you, stick with what you got. But if you need an email system with some just, you know, all these other, you know, signals that don't qualify or not in it, you just need, show me the pair, show me the buy-in, and let me know which way to go. And let me see what the success is. Then you're going to want to look at I'm about to show you. Okay. So let's have a look. From this point, what we decided to develop was the process we'll refer to as the Dex Atomic X. And the Dex Atomic X looks very cluttered. I know, seems to be cluttered, but it's not really. This is default right out of the box. As soon as you put it on your chart, this is what it's going to look like. But there's a little bit of cleanup we can do. I'm going to take these hilt lines. Now remember what the hilt is. It's high, low, and time, right? So I'm going to take those off. And then you're left with this big giant green box and a few other little lines and some arrows. But if we look, this is the AUD USD. It's the same time frame as this one. But look, that arrow, it's not there. Where is it? Well, because it didn't qualify. It was under the moving average. So it's still the same system. We just cleaned it up. We validated the signal for you already. Every single arrow that you see on this is a signal. Why aren't there any arrows in this side? Well, we have another program inside that we refer to as the timing. And this is where let's just pretend that the AUD USD, the AUD USD fires for like 22 hours a day. Okay, so I'm going to start it here at 1900 and I'm going to go for 22 hours. I'm going to hit OK. And this is going to open up my trading, my full day trading. This is the full expanse of the trading day for the AUD USD. Remember that time period from about 5 o'clock. Well, it should be about 21 hours actually. So because there's not an 1800. So the next signal firing out at 1900 should be that one right there. So it should actually be 21 hours. So I apologize. The lines that you see here is a spot to take a particular statement on Nadex. So wait a minute. I'm telling you the direction. I'm telling you the signal, the ones to use. All these ones are ones you can use. And I'm giving you the statement price to use. But Max, which one is it? Is it a high risk or a low risk? Well, if it's orange, it's high risk because you guys know I don't like red. But Max, I'm really a low risk kind of guy. Okay. So just come into your inputs on Dex Atomic X and hit low risk and hit OK. And did you see the shift? And no, I'm not going to put both on. You could actually probably double it over and put another one with high risk on. But you get some doubling effects. And as you can easily see, there are plenty of opportunities and potentials for the process to win and to lose. Now, the good thing is, are you just going to go in and trade all day long? Well, if you want signals on and then you can simply make that decision, the cool thing is that all of this process can be backed up with alerts. Since I'm using a low risk setting, I'm going to create the arrow down once per bar. And I'm going to put down here, making sure that I don't adjust any of this code in here. And I'm going to say low risk. and I would hit create. This would give me an email because I have send email selected. And this email would read something to the effect of signal alert, low risk, auto USD at this particular level for this particular expiry. You would receive that email within 0.3 milliseconds, 0.3 seconds to 300 milliseconds of it firing, because guess what? TradingView has a very powerful engine for alerts. You would get that email, and then you would simply, if you were on your phone or your pad or just bombing around the house and you get an email alert on your phone, and you could go to Nadex, you could use that process knowing that this is a high risk trade. You put a working order on, there's a possibility it's not going to fill. Would this one fill? No. Would this one fill? No. Did this one fill? Yes, and it won because this has that pullback method. This one filled and won, so there's two. This one filled and, oh, this one lost. So you got 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. Oh, look at that. And this one would have filled as well because within 2 pips. So possibly 6-1 here over this morning on a low risk. If you were trading high risk, it might be a little bit different. Let me see. This one won right there. So that's 1-0, 2-0. This one lost. So 2-1. This one won. So 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 because it got picked up. Oh, wait, maybe not. This one wouldn't have gotten picked up. So 4-1 still, 5-1. So 5-1 today. So 6-1 with low risk, 5-1 with high risk. So you can see that the ease of use for you just come in and check. Well, Max, I really don't have all day to do it. What else could I do? Well, you could easily shorten the times down. When can you trade? Knowing that between 1700 and 1900, there's no trades happening. Maybe you can only trade from, let's say, 9 to, I don't know, 3. So what is that, 6 hours? So you do something like this. And you say, all right, well, if I'm only trading for those 3 hours, what would I have looked like? How much could I have won? You could easily go back and step back and see, you know, how well would I have done if I traded these days? There are so many, I'm talking so many ways that you can utilize. It's going to take me at least a week just to run in all the videos on all the different methods you can use. Now, if you plan to just use this as an emails plotting system and you're going to have lots of signals coming to you and you're going to be trading and you're going to be doing all this stuff, back end work and all that, don't expect to walk over to TradingView and be like, hey, how come I can't do this with a free account? You're going to have to get an account. You're going to have to pay for that account. I'm being real with you. If you want to make money, you're not going to find anything out there for free. We held a meeting earlier with the Den members because Den members get an advanced look at this. They'll even get advanced touch with this as well. If you're a Den member, you'll get access to this before everybody else does so you can practice and trade and help us beta it. And we were talking about this, you know, everybody just wants to find something for free. But let me tell you, if somebody's willing to give away everything for free at that level, then how much worth does it really have? And if you're looking to make money, you have to get out of that free mentality because you don't really appreciate it anyway. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to, you know, put out their entire world. You know, we're not talking about thousands of dollars a month. If you have a question, you can go into the chat and ask a question at that point. I'll try to answer if I see something that I can answer during the meeting here. But at the end, we'll have a question and answers phase as well, and everybody can come out and talk. So our process here, that this Dex Atomic X is very powerful. If I just stop the webinar right there, this is worth it. This is worth every single second. Everything that I have done to get to this point, in my eyes, I'm biased, has led me to this. Because if you think you're busy, I'm pretty sure I'm just as busy. I teach karate, 5th degree black belt. I have a school. I have a network. I have a family. I have COVID stuff here, and we got to protect ourselves. We got to do all this other stuff. I'm battling health issues. I'm battling the world, but I'm still trading. And I'm trading even just manual. I haven't even applied the Dex Atomic X to my life yet. And I'm excited. I'm building this thing, and I'm like a little kid in a candy shop. You could dial it all the way down to, I don't really want to trade Mondays or Sundays. You know, you're not trading Saturdays. That one's in there, faux pas. Okay. If you wanted to see how well you would have done over the past month, you could do whatever at this point. It's like a little dry strategy test for you. See if it works for you. Okay. So the point being is that if you're here to make trading work, you're going to have to spend a couple of bucks. For some of you that have been here for a while and you're founders, we're going to get to all you. We're going to have that here in just a second. Okay. I kind of went over some of this stuff. We call this, you know, the HILT box, that box that you see thinking in the box about the validational process. Now, as we covered, the Dex Atomic system with a box validation, the buying mentality of 45, 55, because remember, you're not going in there buying contracts at $20 profit. Well, let's not be silly. This is as close as to one-to-one we can get without endangering the pullback process. If I stop the video right here, like we said earlier, this would be a great system to have and use. It's a semi-automatic mentality, right? Somebody's sending you a signal. You barely even have to go in and really do anything anymore. Just look at the chart and see what it is. But if you set up the alerts right, advanced alerts, which I'll show you how to do, and I'll even, with everybody that's getting in this first week, I may not have training all the way up. So you may have to sit in on some meetings. You may have to be like, Max, I need some help. I'm going to get on a phone or into Discord, which is our little priority system here, or our Discord system that I use for gaming. And I'm going to sit and meet with you in the den or in a special room, just like Jeff 4155 is right now. I'm going to jump in a room and I'm going to be like, hey, I'll share my screen. You'll share your screen. We'll go through. I'll show you how to set everything up. If you have certain needs that you need, I'm willing to do that for every single one of you that buys in or have bought in. Now, if we stop right there, the system itself, this semi-automatic process, you know, you don't even have to, that's the Dex automatic. This is the Dex Atomic X. What does the X stand for? If we stop right there, this is a great network. Come on, buy it in, get on, start trading, make it happen. For all you guys that need the emails at work and can I get it on my phones and all those guys, all you guys, guess what? Boom, this works. Now, I'm only releasing this version in the 1 hour trade signal process. There's no 2 hours. There's no 5 minutes. There's no dailies. There's no, you know, hey, Max, can you put this on commodities and indices and Bitcoin? And no, this is for the top 11 pair, the 11 pairs that are in the binary section for Nadex. And yes, you can use it on the USD Mexi. You can use it on that. And I'll show you how to set all those up. I'll show you how to set the alerts up. If you do not have an advanced account on TradingView, you will not be allowed to set up a whole bunch of alerts and all these pages and all that stuff. You are going to have to go over and get a paid account. But let me tell you right now, it's worth it. And if you do, you use our link to do it, there's so much more advantage to that because we get a couple extra bucks from, and I'm being honest, we get a couple bucks. And I'm partial to TradingView, not because they pay us, because I really don't even care. I think we made like $85 last month. I don't make very much on it. I trust them because I've been using them for years and it never, ever felt like it was slimy. You know how like you deal with a broker or a network or a chart network, like you don't know where the data is really coming from. This is a very powerful company. In order for me to apply to get the library, I had to go through all of these checks and securities and everything. And once I finally passed, I was like, I can't believe that this is what these guys go through. And they do it tirelessly. These programmers and guys over there are awesome. And I'll stand by them to the day I die. But if you use that and we make a couple extra bucks in there, I can afford to do some extra things for you as well. Like I said, in Discord, walk you through the process, do all that. If you don't, that's okay. If you already have an account with TradingView, that's okay. I'm still going to give it to you. I'm still going to allow you to do that. But it just helps the company out more. It helps pay the staff and the customer service to make sure you get a better system for it. Now, once you get in and all this is on, cream of the crop, guys. You got emails coming to you, you have alerts, you have high, you have low. You can listen, you can set up an auto USD alert for a high on the buy side and high on the sell side and a high on a low and a low risk on the low. And you could have 4 alerts for every single pair, a high and a low, and decide, maybe I should take the high or maybe I should take the low. Maybe if you're undecided, I would suggest picking one way or another so you're not inundated with 11 emails coming over to you. That's 11 pairs with 4 each. That's 44 emails. You're going to be blown out of your mind. Pick a couple of pairs, learn how to do it. Yeah, Victor just stated that if you could buy a year's on TradingView, you're going to save like a huge percentage. And if you're going to be using this, if you're here to trade, then you're here to trade. You already know we're transparent. You already know you can pick up the phone and call us. You already know that you can hit a chat room. We're real. All right, so let's talk about the X. What is the X in the room? Dex Atomic is a great system. The X is not just for extraordinary. It actually is for ZDON. Now, if you remember, ZDON is the automatic connection system. Remember, the Dex Atomic is the trading platform. The ZDON is the standalone program that sits on a server, on your own server or your computer, and it makes a connection to Nadex to make that trade for you automatic. Now, in the old days with the ZDON, the signals from us would go to your ZDON. Like each ZDON was programmed to see our signals, and you would choose what signals you wanted to use over another. Four Kingdoms says TradingView has a special pricing once a year, every November for the week of Black Friday. Oh yeah, I remember that. I think I might even be looking at that this year. I pay the highest amount. It's like 59 bucks. Come on, $59 for it, it's crazy. But I digress. So ZDON was using our signals from our page systems and going through all of your bots and everything. But what we found was that some of the terms and conditions for Nadex is like no outside signal service can provide a signal for connection, blah, 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 blah. They changed their terms and conditions. They've done all this stuff. So it's a longer story than I can willing to go into now. But let's just say that Nadex done a lot of good things for a lot of people, but they've also done some things to keep a lot of good people from making good things to help people like you make more money. Kind of don't blame them in a way, but they could have been a little bit more transparent. They could have been a little bit more open with people, you know, unless you're willing to go in there and be sleazy or what have you. I don't know. I love Nadex. I think they're a good company, but they can be a great company with a little bit more open process with their API and allowing us to do what we need to do. For companies, they want us to jump through hoops, I'll do it, but not giving us an opportunity because we're possibly successful, didn't like it. So I digress again. So the ZDON system now, plus they've made a new, if most of you know, they have a new platform on how to trade. I don't really enjoy it because I like their old system. It was very database-esque, but their new system is okay, but we're still waiting for them to finish it. I know that sounds weird, right? Well, wait a minute. They've had it out for almost a year. Yeah, and it's still not finished. And why isn't it finished, you may ask? Well, you can't view the history unless you go back to the old system. And we have some very special things ready for them once they do. We can connect to it already, but it's just a matter of what we want to connect to. And if they decide to change it or go back to the old system, I'm hearing like rumors all over the place. It was supposed to be September 15th. They were supposed to hold everything and get everything on board, but now I think it's more like November. And if it is, then so be it. We are still working on that connection system for that. And why is that so important? Well, guess what? Just like when you click on the alert and you choose your Dex Atomic and you're going to do the down, you're going to do the same thing you would do for an email. Your new Xenon is going to give you a very special, once you hook it to your computer or to your VPS, it's going to create what we refer to as a webhook. I know it sounds very ominous, right? Like big old webhook, which means that TradingView's alert is going to talk to your Xenon. That's right. It's going to talk to your Xenon. And what does that mean? Well, that means that if you have a trade, if you said, all right, Max, I want to use the Euro USD between 9 and 7 and only do these particular trades, then you can. I only want to do buys. I don't want to do sells. You can itemize it all the way down to that. And you can create that process to automatically trade those. You can make it to where maybe you manually trade between 9 and 12 in the morning, and then between 8 at night and 11 in the morning, or 2 in the morning, the bot trades. There's so much diversity you can do for yourself. You can have it not trade during news. You can have it only trade. I'm not going to get into news avoidance and all that stuff, because everything that we do right now is all, we don't even mess with the news. I don't trade the NFP, I don't trade Fridays, and I don't trade Sundays. It's that simple. And I can do that all within here, telling myself I don't want to trade Friday and I'm not trading Sunday. Okay. It will reduce my time down to only those days that I've selected. See, powerful. There are other viewpoints like show the hilt lines, and this gets a little bit Christmas tree-esque, if you will, but this will show periods of time of the market movement over blocks of time, 4-hour blocks for each signal that comes over. And once you see the straight value, this is the 4-hour block from that signal. So it takes a little bit getting used to, but you really don't need this up. And this might even be something I may take out later on if nobody really needs it. If you want to see a box to be able to use and you get that alert, because the cool thing is, hang on one second. Here is a signal that is fired. And look what happens. Euro USD, I didn't write this all out just yet. So there's still a couple small things I still got to fix. But Euro USD alert was triggered. High risk. See that? High risk. 11. That's supposed to be 11 o'clock. So I missed a digit. Sell. Euro USD expiry. 12 o'clock. I still missed that digit. Dang. Open your chart. Boom. Opens up a chart. Look at this. Opens up the chart right there. Now, it opened up the chart with my system on it. This is whatever one you had last open. So please bear with this. There's certain things I'm going to tell you to do in training. So that wasn't the proper one. It would look like this. If I wanted to open it with the Dex Atomic X, right? If this is all I ever had on. So this is the one. Now, this is a losing trade. Well, losing so far. We still got 14 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get punched in the face. Okay. But that's not really the point. The point is that the ease of use of finding that opportunity is easy as this email right here. Very easy on the eyes. If you were to go into the subject line, it's going to be alert, high risk, 924.11. Sell. Everything's right in your thing. You can look in your phone and tell which level you need to be at. There's a level. There's a direction. There's the pair. There's the expiry. Everything's in the subject line. You know it's high risk. Maybe you're like, well, there's some news going on. Maybe I shouldn't do this one. Then don't do it. It's high risk. There's some news about an hour. Don't do it. You can make your decisions from your phone. All right. Let me check this process here. Okay, the stages, we kind of went through some of that. Now that Xenon, we're looking to have this Xenon up in a couple of weeks. If Nadex, if you're okay switching back and forth between the order forms, we may even have something that we can possibly pull together in Nadex. I'm not sure yet. to be able to see, you know, what your win ratio is, all that kind of stuff. And that will come. It's going to be a completely different system in there because we've learned a lot of things, because we've done a lot of things, not to steal that commercial, but so we're going to be looking at how do we get the Zeton on safely and securely so nobody can interrupt that service for you, and Nadex will enjoy still having the people trade just at a little higher rate, right? It'll only be available for the 5-minute chart on the 1-hour trade. Okay, so there is stuff coming. If you already bought the Zeton, if you already have a copy of the Zeton, listen, we are working on getting this on as fast as possible, but we are stuck with some realities here. We want something to be successful. You just want anything that connects, go buy one of my competitors' ones, the ones that goes in and does you 50% success. It's a flip of the coin. Or ones that do even less, drain your account, do all that stuff. So I'm here to make something work for you, not just to sell you something. Speaking of which, how much is it? I know some of you wanted to ask that. I'm going to go through this very quickly so we can get to questions. Now, in the beginning of the month, previous month, we created something called the green room and the den. The green room being, hey, if you're brand new, you want to do it on your own. You don't want to be held accountable with a journal and all that nonsense. And, you don't want to be pushed. You got your own drive. You got your own thing. You want to spend a little less money. There it is. Green room, $100 a month. Okay. The den, you pay $200 a month. That was when you're in the den. Now, if you're already a founder or a lifetime member, if you're already a paying member, this is already included in your stuff. Is already included in your stuff. If you have a deal with us that you're only paying your membership fee or your utility side, whatever it is, that'll eventually, once you go live, we'll work all that stuff out. But whatever you're paying right now is what you're going to pay. You're going to get this in your system for free. I'll send out an email to all you paying members that you'll get a link to, just like you did with the Dex Atomic, and I'll get you access to all that stuff. And then we'll start keeping track of you to go through training and doing all that stuff. If you're a founder, a lifetime member, a diamond exec, all that stuff, the same thing. You're not going to pay any membership fees. But as we started to separate the fees, like in the green room, it has a $50 month membership and a $50 month utility fee. What is the utility fee? Like, well, when you buy a home, I can give you a free home, but you still got to pay the utilities. And that's what the utility fee is. What does that utility fee cover? It covers customer service, keeping the lights on, making sure everything works, keeping a programmer on full time. Moi. So yeah, honesty, transparency. That's what we're trying to do here. So if you're a lifetime member, if you're a free member, yeah, you don't have to pay this. It's $50 a month utility. But if you're having some difficulties financially with COVID and all that stuff, we can work something out. But once you go live, you got to go full price. And once that all stuff happens and blah, 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 there's certain things you're going to have to do. We have to work on the honor system. Okay. Hate that little red line. So we know how much for right now, but when? Well, the alpha testing is happening right now. As you see, I've started already testing. Beta is released today. We're releasing beta to a handful of people that are already in the den that said they wanted to test. If you're brand new, if you're coming in, you'll probably be, you're going to have to wait to the 28th if you're brand new. But I got a deal for you. Okay, I have a deal for you. Non-paying members who come on before beta 2 only have to pay for their membership fee until they go live. That's pretty cool, right? Now, if you're deciding that you want to do the den, once if you're live and you want to do the den, you want to go to the den, it's going to cost you $100 to start. And we're going to get you in. I'll teach you everything on the side of learning how to do the Dex Atomic, so you have some sort of knowledge about the process. You'll get to learn what Nadex is, how to do all that stuff. If you already know all that stuff and you just want to come in and start working on the trades, great. On the 28th, you're going to get the full Monty. You're going to get all that stuff. Okay. So if you're doing the green room, it's only going to cost you $50. If you're doing the den, it's going to cost you $100. But the $100 for the den it means that I'm with you the entire way. And you ask some of the other den members, if you're in the den and you have problems, you go into that room, you ask questions. There's other people. There's not just me. There's people that are very successful. David Menning and many other people that are in that network. Now, in order to get that $50, you're going to have to use the dexxbeta, DEXX. So dexxbeta is the code there. Okay. And you use that right on the pricing sheet. So if you're not logged in, you would go to the pricing page, log out, go to the pricing page, and then use this dexxbeta in the apply coupon code to either deal. And it'll remove the utility fee. You only have to pay the membership. Pretty badass, right? Now, if you're a paying member and you're paying more than what the green room is, like if you're paying $150 and you're still in the green room, I can either upgrade you to the den and you'll save $50, or I could take $50 off and make you just pay what the green room is. So it's going to be up to you. So if you're doing that and you're on this, I know there's one or two of you that are, then please just give us a write. We want to get you set up. We want to get you making money. Remember, our mission statement has been the same: to help you get your idea of success. We are slowly beginning to see what the true success is of those that do certain things. And there's a couple mentalities: those that want to trade with a little higher risk and those that want to trade lower risk. Be honest with you, David Menning trades at a lower risk and he does very, very well, while others trade at a higher risk and they moderately do okay. But you got to be prepared for that. Your psyche has to be prepared for that. All right. So for this part of the webinar or meeting, I'm going to call for an end, but I want to hear your questions. There's 20 or so of you, 30 or so of you in this room right now. So there can't be not one person who doesn't have a question. Anybody can come out and they can hit the chat room and ask. I'm also going to open up to my own apparel. I'm going to see if I can do this to where I'm going to unmute all. Or if you want to unmute, just come straight out and unmute. Use a little microphone by yourself. I forget what it looks like on your side. But if you have a question, if you have a statement, if you're already using the system, if you're in the system, or you have any questions, I'm not afraid of any question you're going to ask. So if you had something you want to say it, bring it out now. And let's get it addressed.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. Who's this?
This is Quick Hitter.
Hey,
I just want to say, from the time that I started a couple, months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, with Dex and Dex Atomic, I mean, you guys have come a long way. And from the things that you've shown today, I mean, it's life-changing. And, I've said it in the groups before that I'm looking to get rid of the 9-to-5 that I'm in. I can, do other things. And this is life-changing. So I just think that, if anybody's really serious about getting in here and really learning the system, I mean, before you had to figure out the box method, you had to figure out, where your quarter was. And if your quarter was off of a quarter, then you probably didn't get filled or you probably lost. But now you don't have that. So, I mean, this is like a no-brainer. And if you're really serious about getting in here and getting it done, I mean, it's all on you. I mean, they've actually just taken the gold mine and just set it in your lap. And if you don't do anything, you can't blame Dex. You can't blame Thor. Maybe you can blame Thor because he's easy to blame. But
so you already
can't blame anybody, right? Like it's really on you. So I'm super excited, man, and I can't wait. So
well, quicker. Do you work for the company?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because if you don't, maybe you want to work for us. That was pretty heartfelt, and I appreciate that. I know that your full-time goal is to get away from the 9-to-5, but you want to be a professional fisherman. You already a professional. You go out to tournaments and stuff, and you fish there, right?
Yeah, man. They call it semi-pro. I have a couple of sponsors, and I actually make a living. Part of my time going out and fishing. So I want to do it full time. So I'm really into this just hardcore. So
I would love to see you have a sponsorship with your name on it. That's just you sponsoring yourself. However, whatever you call your trading version, right? So turn it into a business and be like, quick hitter trading, .com, whatever, it's something that you have all the potential with this. So while you're fishing, you can have a pad, so not while you're fishing, of course, but in between tournaments, or while you're sitting in a hotel in between or what have you, you have opportunity. That's all this is just opportunity. Right. And I appreciate you coming out and giving us that statement. I really do. Thank you. There was a chat, somebody, Peter H in the chat says, after having a high amount of success with the Dex Atomic, this is very exciting. With the high risk versus low risk TV options, are they both 45-55? Yes. Everything you do from this point on, whether you are a trader with us or not, here's my freebie to all of you. Find something that does 45-55 and don't turn around. Don't look at high in the monies. Don't be looking at $8 trades, $8, and even on the OTMs, yes, there's a possibility that you can actually turn this, and I can show you some advanced strategies, but I'm only going to show those that are in the den on how to do some of these advanced strategies and how to get, even better trade prices from OTMs. Because remember, with an OTM, you're only really risking about $20. Dylan, Dylan says, I'm finally glad we got here. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, most of you that came on or are going to be coming on, you're coming into a system that we've done a lot of work over the several years. Paul, Vivian, Thor, Mike Ficca, Christoph, everybody who has put the time in and sweat and tears to get us here today. It may look like and become an overnight success to some, but for us, it has been a trial and tribulation, but a labor of love. After
hey,
being
Max,
yeah, buddy.
One thing I think it's important to understand, why the 45-55?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been around a couple of years, and what I found is the fact you want to stick to something, because what people don't understand, there's still cycles in the trading. You can go like months with winning, but you may have a bad month.
Yeah.
So if you got successful, you might think, oh, I can go back. No, you're going to have a month that's going to be down. So stay with something that works. So you go through the lows and highs. Don't try to keep screwing around, because otherwise you are going to lose money.
Exactly. And here's another reason why we do the 45-55, and I'm going to draw right on the screen here, is that if the market has a value and it's moving in an upward pattern, we say that it's a buy from this level. Okay. If the market's going to continue to go on, we say that it's not going to drop below this level here, but it starts to drop down to get to the pullback. How far and how close does it need to come to this line in order to be represented as a possibility or be offered as a trade to you from other traders? Well, if you go about 4 or 5 pips away, you're really only ever going to get to about $20 to $30 worth of profit. So you're not going to get that 45. Where you get the 45 is about 2 pips away from your mark. So if you get within 2 pips, it should be bought over at Nadex at that point. It should pick up. But if you were to do 50-50, where does it have to go? It has to almost break it. And by that point, if it starts to go even forward, if you go like for $60 worth of profit, you're now OTM. And if you go in $75, you're way OTM, right? And then you got to hope that it'll come back up at that point. So yes, while you're right, yes, there is a potential that when you lose a trade, you're losing $55, which is only about $10 off of what you would have risked for it. This is not really a true one-to-one scenario. It's more of a 1.1 point something, 1.00 something at that point too. But in 2 trades, if you were to make the one, you make $45 back. And on the next one, now you're plus $10 or $30 at that point. So it does have a very clean attribute rather than a $20 trade that if you lose, you're losing $80. You've got to make 4 trades up. That kind of really messes with the psyche, right?
Yeah, hi Max.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, do me a favor. Can you pop over to Trading View itself and pop on the pricing where it's got the basic Pro Plus and Premium, just so that people can see what the difference in prices and what they're going to get.
Let me see if I can do that. I'm logged in. Where is the price? Price. Help center. Is that it? I don't know where that pricing page is, Paul.
It's not.
Printing, is it pricing? Wouldn't be pricing on here. Somebody probably already has it. Let me see. It's nope. A 1.2 to 1.0. Thanks, Jeffrey. I appreciate that. I don't know where that page is, but it's very low. I show it in the video.
It's not on the more where it says more. Might not. Yeah, I mean, you probably do, but where it says more, which is in your top, just below the address bar.
Oh, just below. Okay, I have
more.
things.
I don't know if it's there.
Let me see here. More pricing. There it is. Boink. Thank you very much. All right, there we go. This is for the year. So, oh yeah. And move this stuff out of the way. So yeah, the basic under the Pro Series, you're going to have where 5 indicators, 2 charts, 10 servers, ad-free, custom time, multi-hands watch list, bar replay, 2029, 4 Dre indicators, all. So I'm not sure. Okay, so there's 30. Oh, so 10 server side alerts. So you're not going to get a lot. Okay. On the free one, you're not going to get any. On the $14 a month, you're going to get some. You're going to get 10 server alerts. So you probably pick 2 or 3 pairs that you want real signals for. You know, buy, sell on either side. So you'll have about 5 pairs you could possibly do. Here, you'd probably be able to do 15 pairs or all the pairs done with 2 trades on either side. And here you could just do everything your heart desires at this point. Now, if you do it annually, you're only you're gonna save about 16%. And do it that way. So it's not very much. If you add, let's just say you went to full premium, went $59, and you added the $100, like if you were in a green room, you were paying both sides $159, right? You're paying $159 a month. There's some people that we have make, I personally do between $3,500 and $6,000 a month, depending how much time I can put in and when I can put in. I know people that put in a moderate amount of time, you know, 2 or 3 trades a day, make between $2,500 to $4,000 a month. Easy, without a lot of sweat. And as they build up that consistency, they can add more volume, more contracts. You don't add more trades, you simply add more contracts. By the way, me making that money, I'm only trading 2 or 3 times a week because I'm trading 10 contracts at a time. So it really does come back down to, is this an acceptable parameter of payment? You're paying $59 over here. You're paying $100 for us. Even if you were doing the Dex Atomic and the Den, you're paying $259. You now have somebody who's successful, not just me, but the others in the Den. You have somebody who's watching after you, making sure that if you make mistakes, that we help you correct them and figure them out and help your mentality, keep you driven, keep you pushed, keep you accountable. Some of you need that. Some of you need the coach. And it's okay. It's okay if you can't afford that. If you can't, jump on the chat room, talk to us, give us a deal. Let us know what you can do. I'm willing to work with you. I'm more so wanting you to become successful. Yeah, I'm an okay guy, I guess, but I want you to become successful because that'll keep you here and that'll let you continue to pay. Without that success, you shouldn't be paying. You can't figure it out, then maybe you shouldn't be a trader. But if you're not being a trader, I have to look at the system. And if the system works for one, it can work for all. Because the people that it's working for, they're not some sort of mega mathematician trader people. Listen, I became a programmer after getting into this company. I built websites and did radio. So I'm nothing special. I was just determined. You know, Dylan, I appreciate that. Dylan was in some tough places at times, and there's other people that have been. But we have all worked. We have all been a part of this problem that we have found in this industry. The scam artist, the rip-off artist. Why am I out talking to you today with all of this? I could have been talking to you 3 or 4 weeks ago and spinning your whole thing about buy into the Dex Atomic and do all this other stuff. And some of you did come in to some emails that we have written, but we haven't put out major campaigns. With this one, we are. So I want you to get in. Get in and be a part of that process. Okay? Hit our pricing page up. You're going to use the Dex Atomic. You're going to use the Dex X beta code to get 50. You're only going to pay for, you're going to get your membership that you're going to pay for, but you're not going to pay for the utility fee all the way up until you go live. That takes you a month. It takes you 2 weeks, what have you. You tell us when you've gone live, we start charging you the other 1 month later, right? We want you to make some money first. If you can afford to come in, come in. If you can't, if you're part of the founders program, you got your stuff, or you've bought a lifetime and you don't want to, I don't want to pay any more money. Well, I'm sorry to say you are eventually going to have to pay something for something that gives you a constant service every month, well above and beyond. But you won't have to pay for the membership, of course. Plus, when the Xenon comes out, for anybody who's already bought it, there's no charge, of course. But for anybody who's coming, there's an added setup fee and purchase fee and all that kind of stuff for that when that comes out. But if you buy in now, there's none of that. It goes to you absolutely free with that. So if you didn't purchase the Xenon at its $1,100 or $2,000 price before, and it comes out again with this new stuff, it's going to be well above that. There'll be payments, of course, that you could do. But I would get in now, because in this beta, you're helping us figure a lot of stuff out as well. And I'm willing to reward you with that with a Xenon. So if you can, come in. If you can't, I appreciate your time. You can unsubscribe to the list, all that kind of stuff. But we want you to be successful. I look forward to seeing you inside. If anybody else have any other questions or statements you want to bring out before we go, we got forever hold your pieces. If you missed any part of this, we're recording it and we're going to be sending it out. Get to as many of you as possible. Okay. I'm Max Farrow. This is Dex FX Markets. This has been about the Dex Atomic X. I look forward to seeing you next time and seeing you inside. And as always, trade well.